Già tengo la pressione a 3000. So there must be a lot of stuff to cut here. Anyway, let's see if we are into this nice live. Are we? Are we? Here we go. I hear me talking about my pressure. So, all right, guys. Feels like this thing it's in the frame. And yesterday we did a video. We did a video about this Italian magazine right here. It's called F Magazine. I suppose it exists probably also in other places. I don't know where it's from originally, but anyway. So we have this 29th of November issue that came out with in Italy with Amber Heard on the cover, and there's of course an article inside which I actually took now the time to read, and I'm a little bit pissed off. So I just want to share it with you because I just hate it when they try like there's such a lame attempt. It's such a lame attempt of going in another country and get somebody that it's biased towards you, probably an Amber Heard supporter, a woman that writes for this magazine that was willing to create an article that was enough vague, but also good enough to instill some doubt into you, probably in Italy, that is. Again, at the end of the day, just to try to recover a reputation. But I just felt like, okay, we got to check this out together, and we got to read this together, and I want to point out to certain things, and I want to call the BS on that. Okay, first of all, thank you so much for being in the chat. We're almost 82. I hope we get to 100 very soon. Please hit the like. The more likes, the better. You know the drill. And we're going to get into it very quickly. So, first of all, again, ciao. Nice to see you. All of you. Also you. That with the shirt, okay? I'm not questioning the choice. I'll accept you anyhow. All right? So we have here Amber Heard, 36-year-old. Oggi vive in Spagna, a Maiorca. Dopo il processo, la sua carriera ha avuto uno stop e l'attrice sta aspettando di sapere se Marvel terrà le sue scene o la sostituirà nel nuovo capitolo di Aquaman in cui le interpreta Mera. Ma che cacchio scrive questo articolo? Ma chi ha scritto questo articolo? Who wrote this article? Who wrote this article? I want to know. First little thing right there, and I already get upset. Marvel? Oh my God, this is ridiculous. As you know, Aquaman, it's not part of the Marvel universe, but it's part of the DC universe, right? It's part of Batman. It's part of Superman. So it has nothing to do with Marvel. So that's the first BS that they didn't check. I mean, it's freaking hilarious. Oh my God. So we got the first bus out of the way. And also, I just want to point out that I couldn't find it again, but those pictures are recycled pictures. They're older pictures. They are from a photo shoot from 2018 from a magazine called Porter. Just in case I'm wrong, call me out, but I don't think so. So this article is from Antonella Lattanzi. Probably Antonella Lattanzi doesn't watch Marvel or DC movies, I suppose, because she doesn't know the difference. So the pictures are already recycled. So how does this article start? Basically, this article starts with this kind of, I would assume as kind of woke wannabe, you know, apertamente bisessuale ed esplicitamente votata all'ambiguità. Infatti, quando è venuto fuori che Amber frequentava Elon Musk, la relazione ufficialmente sbocciata dopo il divorzio da Depp nel 2016. All right. Basically, it starts like openly bisexual and sort of proud of her ambiguity. You know, she wants to be ambiguous in purpose. What a way to start an article. Again, really feels like way of being woke. And they're talking about that, basically justifying that she was having an affair with Elon Musk, but after, that goes a little further, after, and actually they kind of blame a little bit Johnny here, you know, that he was upset that he immediately pointed the finger at her, that she was cheating both with Musk and Franco. So I find this remarkable, the way this article starts, actually. But anyway, the article continue with this type of, you know, what I would call being apologetic towards Amber. It's so obvious. It's so obvious that the article is trying to walk a little bit on the fact, because, you know, they cannot deny that she actually lost the trial, but at the same time to be apologetic enough that might again instill, you know, some curiosity into people, or at least, again, for those that don't know much, trying to change the story. So let me see, just give me a second here, because it's also like this part here where it goes like Musk was he declared himself to be really in love with her, and he was absolutely sad when the relationship ended, as if that would give credibility to their love affair, you know? Like, the technique of the article, to me, it's very obvious. Of course, it's my opinion, but it's pretty obvious. And then the other part that it's freaking incredible is this other part here. It says, like, there is another Amber. In a period like this one that we are living, where the fundamental rights of abortion and civil rights are basically up in air, some of those things are up for grabs, and we should have access to. We should have a chance to see another herd, which is the sort of the spearheading of against the status quo. You know, she's the one that she's single-handedly spearheading the movement on the rights of homosexual, and that's why she decided to have her daughter through surrogate, exercising a right that, in her opinion, she believes to be holy. Wow. So anyway, still more like you have the feeling that this article, again, like I said yesterday, it's a little bit of paste and copy from stuff that it's been released in the past. This is not an actual interview. It's more the opinionated, put together piece of this journalist. So, and here, like, you see here, she tries to go like, she tries to let me just give me a second. Su cosa è successo davvero tra l'attrice e il divo di Hollywood. They're still questioning what really happened between the Johnny Depp and her. Clearly, if there is a violence, that can come from both men and women, but if it's exercised by a man, it's more dangerous. That's said violence. Just because, of course, of the disparity of strength. Again, they're throwing the usual trope of, you know, he was stronger, so he must have done something. Wow. And then they try to be apologists yet, but still, anybody basically that comes forward needs to be heard and needs to go through a process, you know, through a trial, and so on and so forth. This part is the part that I find quite remarkable, which is basically the opinion of the journalist in saying like, I would like that as they do for Johnny, which he's being narrated out there, not only for the trial, but also for his career and his talent and his ideas, the same I would love to see for Amber Heard, to search information on her life, to watch her movies before to tag her, to basically, give her a name of like a crazy, out of mind, and so on and so forth. Basically, she's asking the reader to get to know the real Amber Heard. And you know what I answered to that? There is plenty of audios out there that you can have access to if you speak English. And then you can find out actually who is the real Amber Heard. I mean, this article is absolutely bonkers. There must be a push from her PR team together with this writer that she's definitely a sympathizer for her, because the way it's written is just ridiculous. Actually, people took the time to find out who was the real Amber H, and that's why they sided with Johnny Depp. And also that they took the time to see the trial. And actually here, again, she says like, we shouldn't just throw out there like judgment without actually do a research. And she describes herself as being like a avid lover of trials, and with that, probably we are supposed to believe that she has watched the trial in its entirety. Honestly, I have doubt that this journalist watched all 6 weeks trial, that she actually has knowledge of the audios out there. But she's just throwing it right here to finish this column in saying like, I love trials. I have a nick for it. I watch every trial I can watch in my daily time. So therefore, I'm sort of an expert. So therefore, believe what I just said. No, thank you. Because this is a bunch of BS. And it gets worse. And it gets worse right here. Again, apologizing for the whole Me Too movement, that the Me Too movement, it's not really a movement, and so on and so forth. It did punch that movement in the face, no pun intended, of course, because of what they did to Johnny Depp. The credibility has went down the drain very quickly, and they still, like this type of articles, they still further, undermine their credibility, because you really think like the millions of people around the world, they're totally nuts. You're trying to gaslight us again with this type of article, trying to so hard to depict this woman in a good light. And I'm not even talking about the right of a human being to be on a path of self-healing. That's a completely different discussion that we can have, right? Based on empathy and compassion and all of that. That has absolutely nothing to do with this. This has to trying to basically make a convicted into something else. And I make this example all the time. Imagine if those articles, when you see what happens. For instance, now there are those white supremacists that are getting out of hand and talk all kinds of smack. And you see, when you have a video, one of those people trying to be apologetic towards something that me and you, we are like, are you kidding me? Seriously, man? You're trying to flip the pancake on this, trying to sell it as if it was something good, right? And the same thing is happening right here with this type of article. So, wow. So anyway, these are the part of the article which it talks about. There is a double truth, a truth that it's legal, that it's given by the judgment of a jury and a trial, and what it's basically out there, that it's there could be also a story of injustice, of inequality, of things which are not recognized because of the power of the system itself. And more importantly, basically they're blaming society that can have an effect on the jury and the judgment and the system itself to be corrupted in a way of not recognizing women being mistreated, and therefore that manifests in the verdict, which they are unjust. Wow, I just want to leave the freaking room, honestly. I just want to leave the freaking room. What a gaslighting attempt, you know? And even, I tell you this, even if there are instances where we can argue that could be true, you know, there are great examples. For instance, like in the US, there was this football player called was it O.J. Simpson, right? I think is the most infamous example of that I think. I don't remember if he got away. Did he got away, or he had to serve some time in jail? Actually, I don't remember. But anyway, this is what this article is doing right there. Still trying to apologize for misheard. Wow. Claiming that we are basically wrong just because she comes across, you know, crazy, and she's against the grain, and she's the rebellious one, she's the wild one, and therefore we're just, you know, misplacing her personality, and she was a victim of such personality. Mamma mia. Oh, mamma mia. I needed a moment. I just needed a moment. I just needed a moment. I think it's just I was trying to finish this part of the article here, but I'm surprised they published this. This is another writer. I think it's another column and another writer inside the same magazine. Again, still trying right here, just because she's being considered crazy and uncontrollable. Wow. I you know, it's great, really. I've said this I don't know how many times, that those audios are out there for everybody to listen to have a grasp of the human dynamic between those two people. Because you see, after 6 months, 5-6 months after the trial, and the continuous lies which they keep coming out, like you have, like, I just made a video here about Adam Waldman basically publishing this expert from a book that her lawyer wrote, and I cannot find it, that the British lawyer of AH wrote, which they're still basically defaming Johnny Depp and him, which I find it absolutely crazy. I find it absolutely nuts. So there you have it, an article that it's just a load of BS. It's not factual. If anything, it's just trying to manipulate the audience in gather a little bit more sympathy for Amber H. You know, that's it. It's another attempt of building a reputation back. Maybe because she's living in Europe now, she's trying different markets, you know, again, in different areas, to see how the audience will receive her, perhaps getting some work, you know, like she was a model, she could work for magazines, all that kind of stuff. Like you see right here, this cover had to be approved, and even if the pictures are from a different time, you know, still this thing needed to be approved. So another PR push, and I find it to be hilarious, honestly. This is really hilarious because there is no end in sight for the type of PR. There is no end in sight for this type of gaslighting. And the only thing you can do is to call them out with facts. And you see, you immediately point out that they made a mistake here with the Marvel DC universe. They don't even know what is what, but they know how to try to change the perspective on somebody. Nobody would accept this if Ghislaine Maxwell, which is in jail now, and they will do articles about her in this way, right? I don't think people will accept that. So actually